The only plants you should be eating are probably in the refrigerator. Let's talk about plant toxicity. What's up, fellow plant enthusiasts? My name is Dylan and this is Bane's Botanicals. Today we're going to be talking about plant toxicity. Now this is a really important video because most of us have small children or pets running around and we don't want them to chew on a plant that could potentially harm them. So what makes a plant toxic? Well, normally it's caused by calcium oxalate crystals in the leaves, and these are just tiny little microscopic crystals that can get embedded in the soft tissues of our mouth and our throats, and it can cause swelling and inflammation and indigestion and just all kinds of bad stuff. So it's not something that we want to mess around with. If you're into taxonomy, one group in particular, the aeroids, which is Aeraceae, they are especially notorious for these calcium oxalate crystals. And the problem is that Aeraceae contains a lot of our most famous houseplants: philodendron, epiprimnum, alocasia, aglaonema, spathiphyllum, rhaphidophora, monstera. So a lot of big names. So it's just something that we want to be aware of. If we have pets that are curious or children, we want to keep those plants up and out of the way. I have 5 cats, and fortunately they aren't really into chewing on my plants, except for one of them. They have an affinity for palms. So I had a Dipsis palm and I eventually got rid of it because it had so many tooth marks in it. I'm like, okay, it's not worth it. But yes, I couldn't really find a comprehensive list that had all of the houseplants that I wanted to have covered. I did get the bulk of my information from a website called ukhouseplants.com. They have a lot of good information about plant care. It's worth checking out if you have the time. So, good resource. But I did have to cross-reference a lot of things and look up some of the more obscure houseplants just because I wanted to have a good list for you guys. And for those of you who are watching this live and have been following me, we're about halfway through my list of plant care videos that I wanted to cover. So you're going to hear a lot of names that I haven't covered yet. So spoiler alert. I think what we're going to do here is I'm just going to list the toxic plants first. Let's get the bad news out of the way. And then I'll just list the non-toxic plants. I'll try to throw in some common names as I'm able, but I'm just going to list them by genus. So without further ado, these are the toxic plants. I will list them here. Adromiscus, Aeschynanthus, which is the lipstick plant, agave, aglaonema, alocasia, aloe, anthurium, apobalus, araucaria, which is the Norfolk Island pine, asparagus fern, which is plumosa, I believe is the genus, begonia, caryota, which is the fishtail palm, Ceropegia, string of hearts, chlorophytum. Now I've got a little star next to chlorophytum because Chlorophytum comosum, which is the traditional spider plant, is listed as toxic, but Chlorophytum filipendulum, which is the mandarin plant, is not. I don't know what the discrepancy is, but I would just list it as toxic just so to be safe. But I did want to note that. Clusia codiaeum, which is croton, I believe. Coffea, the coffee plant, cordyline, crassula, curio, cycas, which is the sago palm, sago plant, Dieffenbachia. Dieffenbachia is especially toxic. Like if I had to pick maybe the most toxic plant of all houseplants, Dieffenbachia is probably number 1. It has a lot of like chemical compounds in it that are just bad news. So that would be one that most people would probably avoid. Lost my place. Dischidia, that's another one where some species are toxic and some species are non-toxic. So I would just treat them all as toxic just to be safe. Dracaena, epiprimnum, euphorbia, fatsia, which is like the true Aurelia. Ficus, flowers. So most of your temporary houseplants that flower, like cyclamen, poinsettia, hyacinth, things like that, tulips, those are toxic. The only flower that is non-toxic is roses, which is why I have them here. Got these for Valentine's Day. But yeah, roses are non-toxic. Look at how pretty those are. I don't know, something about the yellow edges is kind of nice. Anyway, what else do we have? We have Gasteria hedera, which is the English ivy, Homalamina juncus, which is kind of the bizarre wavy grass that sometimes people have, Kalanko licuala, which is a palm, Monstera philodendron, Phoenix, also a palm, Plurandra, which is kind of an uncommon Aurelia plant that we haven't covered yet, Portulacaria, Rhaphidophora, Schefflera, Schismatoglottis, Syndapsis, Sedum, Senecio, Spathiphyllum, which is the peace lily, Stephanotis, which is a Madagascar jasmine, Strelitzia, bird of paradise, Syngonium, Yucca, Zamia, and Zamioculcas, the ZZ plant. All of those are toxic, so don't put them on your salad. I also have listed Ardisia. This is an Ardisia, and this one I couldn't find a definitive answer for. Apparently there hasn't been enough research done on the toxicity of it. It's not a super common houseplant, but you will see it sometimes. It is very pretty. I did do a video on this one. And I kind of like how the leaves are kind of coming in with this bronze color on top. I think that's kind of cool. So just to be safe, maybe put Ardisia in the toxic category, but I have that one highlighted that I couldn't find an answer for that one. All right, so here is the list of non-toxic houseplants. Adiantum, which is the maidenhair fern, Alternanthera, Aspidistra, cast iron plant, Bocarnia, which is the ponytail plant, because it's not a palm, bromeliads, so that's also going to include like air plants, Tillandsia, and just any of the bromeliads that have the big flower in the middle. Calathea, all of the carnivorous plants, I believe, are non-toxic. Chamaedorea, which is the parlor palm. Cissus, grape ivy, but the cissus I have is actually a succulent. Tenanthe, Divalia, Dipsis, Echeveria, Epischia, which is that flame violet that's kind of a relative to African violets. Focaria, Phytonia, Geogenanthus, Goapertia, Gymnocalycium, Haworthia, Haworthiopsis, Hemigraphis, Hoea, which is kind of an uncommon palm, Hoya, Irisine, Lampranthus, Lithops, Livistonia, Mammillaria, Maranta, Microsorum, which is like a kangaroo paw fern, Musa, which is a banana plant, Nematanthus, Nephrolepis, Opuntia, Pachyra or Pachyra? I don't know. It's the money tree. Pachycereus, which would also include like cereus cacti, the column ones. Pachypodium, Peleonia, Peperomia, Pilea, Plectranthus, which is Swedish ivy, Ravinia, Rhaphis, Ripsalis, Saxifraga, which is like the strawberry begonia, Schlumbergera, Christmas cactus, Streptocarpus, I skipped one, Sempervivum, Streptocarpus, which is the African violets, Stramanthe, Tillandsia, Trachycarpus, which is kind of an uncommon palm, Tradescantia, Trichodiadema, which is, again, a succulent, and Xerocicios. I have no idea how to pronounce that one. It's a cool succulent. It's hiding up there behind this Aglaonema, but haven't covered it yet. So that's the list of non-toxic plants. And actually, when I'm looking at my list, there are more non-toxic plants than toxic ones, so that's good. But let me know in the comments if I've missed any that are important, if I've said anything that you guys find conflicting information on, let me know so that we can kind of figure that out. But like I said, I did try to cross-reference these so that I was sure. It's better just to err on the side of caution, and if you think that you have a pet or a child that's going to go after your plants, just try to keep them out of reach, just because better safe than sorry. So I have my document right here, and this isn't the only plant document that I have. I've made several that I would love for you guys to read. I'm trying to decide the best format to get these to you guys. I could probably just do a link in the description, maybe Google Documents or something, just some way that I can share these with you guys so that you can have them for your own use. Of course, you can just, if you want this list, you can just take a screenshot of this video if you want, just to have the list. But like I said, I have a lot of other information that I've been compiling for you guys. Hopefully, I will let you know if I can find an efficient way to do that. I think that's all I have about plant toxicity. Let me know, like I said, if you guys have any other information to add, or if there is a specific plant that you don't know about, I could maybe add it to this list. Google is a good resource, obviously, if you have something kind of obscure. Like, off the top of my head, I didn't cover hypostes. I don't know if hypostes are toxic or not, just because not very many people have them. They live for like 2 years and then they die. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you so much for being contributors to this channel, because I think it's really important that, like I said in the very beginning, it's important that we cultivate a community of information here. Like we want to help each other out as much as we can, because no one person has all the answers. And it's so cool being able to communicate with so many different people from all over the world and everything, that we can be this kind of online encyclopedia for each other. Anyway, like I said, thank you guys so much. I hope this was useful. And until the next video, I will see you very soon. Thank you.